Hey guys, and welcome to a really late version for Trunk updates for the 12th of July 2016. Unfortunately, I've been really busy recently, both with the schedule and uploading videos, and honestly, it's been a kind of a rush to get the Greater Player games out. I've kind of wanted to get them out more. Like, I've just been wanting to do stuff, and time slipped by because it's, my holidays still. I don't really have a schedule as, I guess, concrete as before. A lot of days I've even been skipping um, uploading, but it doesn't really matter because I have one or two, I have a bit of leeway on YouTube, thankfully. Unfortunately, I'm by myself today, but that's okay because this is just gonna be a quick one. I'm kind of sick right now, so I don't really want to be too energetic. But here we go. I was probably not going to do this video, but then I realized there's a lot of changes in here that I probably should discuss. So Sif Moon is on the first of this list. Uh, Essentially, they removed channel energy and replaced it with a similar thing to Trog's Hand, except instead of MP, you get mana, which is called Channel Magic at 3 pips, as it says right there. Um, it does provide Ambrosia level MP regen, which is really good. They removed the regular spam channel energy, but they've replaced it with divine energy, which lets you cast spells without having MP. But using this effect causes a minus cast status for several turns, depending on how many MP the player was short by. So basically, it lets you cast at 0 MP. That is really good if you are willing to. I actually can't decide whether or not that is good or bad because it does kind of go against channel magic. But it does let you cast an extra spell to just finish off a dude. It's pretty cool. If it doesn't cost any piety, it's going to be really good, I think. I haven't actually played the new Sif, but I will probably do that in my next video if I have the chance. Um, the Sif book gifts now appear earlier rather than later, which is good because Sif has, historically been a really slow god. And she now gives partial piety for kills rather than only from skill training. So basically, what happened with Sif is that she became updated, and that's been a long time coming. I've always said Sif is like so stupidly out of date. She is really old, in like super old and defunct, and really against what modern crawl is. Like spamming channel energy, having to use macros to press AA, like that stuff. That's not that fun. And like having not getting any spell books until like I don't know, like after lair, and having to train magic constantly just to get that piety continuously up. It's a pain in the ass to use her, and that's why I always picked Fahumid. Now I might have the chance to pick Sif. The other problem I have is that um, there's only like two real gods that are like full melee. Sorry, full mage. Sorry. And there's not really that many other ones. Like you've got at the top, you've got Vehumit and kind of Sif and Dithmenos slightly and Ashen'Zari slightly, and then like you've pretty much got zero other gods. Like Fedas is from Mage, like it doesn't really provide anything that doesn't give either mana regen, extra skill power, extra spell power, or like extra damage. Like basically is useless as a mage god. So it's like kind of hard to justify any of them. Like the only one that I can think of that's played by mage is McLeb, and that's only for Deep Dwarf. It's like, eh. So I don't know. Having mages be so focused on mana might not be a good thing, but that would probably be a bit more in the future. It just means that basically mages are shoehorned into playing certain gods, and I'm not sure if I'm that much of a fan of that. Anyway, another huge thing that came up. Uh, Player Longblade can now riposte. So after dodging a melee attack, users have a 50% chance to launch a free counterattack. This does not trigger retaliation effects such as porcupine spines or hydra head growth, but functions as a normal attack otherwise. Longblade base damage has been lowered to compensate. So this thing is pretty sick. I've used it a bit in Trunk, and from what I can see, it basically gives you like a good 50% extra slaying on top of your damage. It does require you to dodge the attack, not block it, so you basically want to go full dodge. So essentially, Long Blades is now really relegated towards the lighter armor. You generally won't be using it with heavy armor because the base damage has been lowered. It's nice that Long Blades have been given an extra flavor thing. Previously, they were very boring. The only one that was as boring was maces, and maces were significantly better in that you didn't have to find a flaming one before lair or you lost. Because obviously, slicing off Hydra heads is not a good idea unless you have flaming. So yeah, like Longblades were always that one class that had a significant weakness and really didn't have that much of a benefit. The only thing they get is like a little bit more damage on the base, but the only problem with that is that, well, compared to an axe, you're still doing more damage with the axe because you're swinging in an arc, whereas the long blade's just hitting one thing at a time. Now, the long blade is going to be doing a lot of damage because you can riposte even with a triple sword. The only thing that I find stupid about this is the fact that rapiers, which you would think could riposte, cannot riposte because they're short blades, whereas triple swords, and great swords, can riposte. Kind of makes no sense. If anything, I would like to have the falchion removed from the game and the rapier moved over to the long blades and replacing it, because I feel like that would be a little bit more sensical, considering that's kind of what rapiers do. That's what they're kind of for, for thrusting. But well, hopefully that gets changed at some point, but I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. So the Fencer's Glove no longer gives short blade and long blade skill. Instead, they let the user riposte with any weapon, and this stacks with long blades in it ripostes. That's amazing. The Fencer's Glove will now be even better than it used to be, because honestly, in some cases, short and long blade skill was useless. Now it's incredible for any melee. It is probably better than the Gauntlets of War at this point in time. So just keep that in mind. Various unrans have had their stats tweaked. The most notable change is to EOS, which is, I believe, the plus 11 electricity mace, which trades at C Invis and minus Telly for Brilliance's Halo. So now it's basically the best one-handed weapon probably in the game. No, sorry. It's probably one of the best artifact one-handers now. In fact, it probably is. I can't even a Morningstar is not a terrible weapon. It's about this. It's slightly weaker than a Demon Whip, I believe, but it's got electricity and it has brilliance. It's pretty insane. It is damn good. It's a good weapon now. Wormbane, it was kind of a good weapon before actually, but the minus Telly was obviously the worst part about it. But yeah, now it's a great weapon. Wormbane also trades plus rage for RC plus, so it's slightly better than it used to be. The other thing about Wormbane is that it's a great weapon, but I don't like the fact that its base weapon is so low, but that's probably to balance it because its slaying can go up to like plus 18. That's pretty good. Anyway, some unrandots that got removed saw the Doom Knight, Amulet of Secugob, and Brilliance, except for the bits Eos took. So Brilliance was the plus 2 or something Evening Star that gave you Holy and AC plus 5, Imp plus 2, and the Halo. It was kind of garbage, to be completely honest, so I'm not really sad to see it go. The sprite was cool, but, it's gone. The Secugob has always been significantly worse than every other amulet in the game, mostly because it gives you one of, everything, and then it gives you minus telly, and you're like, I don't want this. The minus telly is enough to just not want it at all. Sword of the Doom Knight, literally no one uses. It's a minus cast weapon that requires you to train Pain, Necromancy, to be useful. It's such a useless weapon. Because even if it's a good weapon, to utilize it, you have to give up your spellcasting, which makes no sense because it scales off spellcasting. It was a pretty crap weapon, let's be completely honest. Okay, moving on. Ammo acquirement is no more, that's good. Actually, it's annoying, but realistically it doesn't make any difference. Rarely would you ever acquire ammo in the first place. Mostly because you wouldn't really get that much from it. And this one is the one that I have discussed in the Deep Elf Venom Mage finale. The Wiglaf guy, the one who can haste and might himself, has been removed. So Donald now has his haste and might, and Joseph has his hat now. There's been a lot of talk about Wiglaf being removed, and it brings up all the old salt about mountain dwarves, and in complete honesty, within 2 versions, you're probably going to forget that Wiglaf ever existed. Who remembers Lamia, guys? Like Norris, even. Like you barely even notice that he's gone. Like in all seriousness, every time they remove these guys, like you forget about them like almost instantly. It's fine. It's not a big of a deal. But Wiglaf was one of those enemies that was basically Rupert. That's it. He's just Rupert, but he's slightly less important because Rupert at least has incredible danger to it because of the paralysis, confusion, and whatnot. All Wiglaf can do realistically is haste and might, and then you just kill him anyway. Or you teleport and then you kill him when he's not hasted and mighted. Now Donald has got pretty much the same thing, but Donald has a cool shield, so not a big deal. Realistically, I think the devs were just trying to consolidate uniques that were pretty much the same. If you think about it, Wiglaf and Donald were almost exactly the same. Big melee dudes that's it. Big melee dudes. Wiglaf had haste and might. Now Donald has it. Oh, they might as well remove Donald too, but whatever. They'll keep him. Joseph got a hat. Cool. Makes killing him more worthwhile. Urug and Maud have been merged into one very smelly, well-armed unique. So what happened is Maud got removed, and Urug now holds Maud's weapon, which is like an evening star or some cool weapon, making him incredibly dangerous compared to before. Not really. He's still as dangerous as before, but now his weapon is really good as well. Maud was another one of those vanilla uniques that really didn't do much. I don't even remember what she did. I'm pretty sure she just like had a weapon. I don't think she could do anything else. Let me think. Could she summon demons? I don't know. It's not even that, like, I don't even know. I've been playing this game for years. Anyway, Nagael can no longer cast Death's Door. That's sick because Death's Door is annoying as hell. Killing her is like the most frustrating thing. And now that killing her faster is possible, that's good. Monster skill sets have been reworked. Wizards, Ogre Mages, Ancient Champions, and Circes. I have seen Circes, but I don't remember what she had. I think she had like Slow and Confusion now. It was kind of weird. I'm not sure about Ancient Champions. I'm not sure about Ogre Mages or Wizards, unfortunately. But if you do watch my videos, you will probably find out if I remember to take a look at them from now on. The Vault Branch monster set has been partially reworked. So Vampire Mosquitoes are no longer in there, Fire Crabs are no longer in there, and Entropy Weavers are in. God damn it, guys. Why do we keep putting Entropy Weavers into more places? Stop. Those enemies are garbage. Stop. They're smiting. Ugh. I hate Entropy Weavers. They're such a bad enemy. They just smite you. Hit them with that smite corrosion. That's so nice. Hope you have corrosion resistance. Nope, you don't? Oh, minus 32 slaying, dude. Hate it. Anyway. So special rooms, which are rare rooms that have been completely packed with monsters, have been their sets adjusted and can now appear in Pan. So that refers to the one with slimes and the one with kobolds and orcs. So the kobold and big kobold one and the orc one, I believe. So those are the only monster rooms I'm aware of, but we'll see. I'm not really sure what that means. Like, what? Anyway, Arpoise now gives immunity to Green Draconian's Mephitic Breath. It was previously resisted by nothing, not even by the undead. It's kind of funny because that doesn't even. I'm assuming that's talking about player Green Draconians, but I've never seen that happen. I've never seen. What? Yeah, that's confusingly written. I'm not sure if that means player Green Draconian or enemy Green Draconian, but I'm pretty sure enemy Green Draconian is Poison Cloud Breath, not Mephitic Breath. So I'm assuming that's the player's one. But yeah, that's an interesting bug that I didn't even know was a thing because I've played Green Draconian before, and that was never a thing. Anyway, summon monsters now vanish immediately when their summoner dies. That's nice. So that means that they don't last one extra turn, which is pretty cool. It means that they're less of a threat, and you don't have to move backwards after killing a summoner. It's just the final like removal of the stuff that the summoners had that were annoying. Allies no longer mark fireball plants as priority targets. That's good. More AI improvement. Friendly monsters will no longer open doors. That is so sick. Remember every time that I get salty that my imp opens a door and kills me? They're gone now. The imps know not to open those doors. Thank goodness. Giving orders to allies no longer make noise and can be done while silenced. Hand signals or telepathy, you decide. That's really sick because that means that summoning play is less obtrusive. Obtuse. Yes, obtuse. I was gonna say obtrusive, and then I realized, is that even a word? Anyway, it's kind of annoying when you like press T and you press TA and then suddenly you just draw everyone on the map to you. It's annoying, so having it be completely silent now is a-okay. Good with me. Sickness has no longer got a chance of causing attribute damage. That's nice. Attribute damage is pretty outdated at this point. Honestly, I don't think they should even have it, but whatever. Like, in all honesty, attributes should not be focused on so much in this game. They already are kind of pointless. The only one that's like really, really noticeable is pretty much int and strength at really low levels. Like when you're wearing heavy armor, that's like the only two times where you really give a crap about your stats. So like removing more attribute damage is good. Honestly, if attribute damage was removed, I don't think anyone would really complain. It's not a very fun or interactive or unique or flavorful thing to do to the player because they have absolutely no way of really curing out of it. They just have to kill stuff, and that's kind of annoying. And unlike Drain, you can't quantify how much you've been hurt by the stat drain. I don't actually know how much 5 dex damage to me has done to my stats. I have no idea. But I can tell when my weapon's not at min delay when being drained. So yeah, stat damage is annoying, and it could be removed, and that's good. So the interface for eating food has been somewhat more consistent with other floor item usage. I tried to eat food in Trunk, and it was really weird. I pressed like you have to press like comma to select it. It's kind of weird. I don't understand it, but yeah, they've done something to do with that. Kiku no longer gives the player extra HP while under death's door. Surprisingly, this is not really that important of a feature because, in all honesty, you don't really use death's door that much on Kiku. Probably like 1 in 10 games have death's door at most, and I'm overestimating. Like, it's not a very common spell to use, to be completely honest. Good gods no longer mind the player drinking blood here and there. That's hardly relevant. Like, you'll never really drink blood unless you're a vampire, and that's kind of fine, really. It's not a big deal. It might mean that we get some satiation out of them. If you, say, for example, kill a vampire knight and you're starving, you drink the blood and you don't go into penance. That's pretty cool, I guess, but other than that, there's not really that many, I suppose, how do you say it, like instances where that would happen. Pekelis' quick charge is no longer more powerful at 0 Evo than at 27, so that's a bug, and stone creatures no longer stumble. That's weird because you'd expect stone creatures to stumble even more. Anyway, that's about it for today. This has been a pretty short video, about 18 minutes, so I'm going to probably do another video later on. But if you can't tell, I'm breathing quite hard at this point, so things are getting it's getting kind of hard to speak, so yeah, I'm sick. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time. Again, I'm sorry for the fact that this was so late. Like I said, time slipped away from me, and the time that I did want to record, no one was available, so I decided right now just to suck it up and just record it myself. So, yeah. Until next time.